Hey, I'm Mel Robinson. I want to thank you for signing up for your own personal spring cleaning. And today's video is starting it off, video number 1 in rockstar fashion. What do you need in order to make the most of your spring? You need a boost in confidence, don't you? Well, in order to have a boost in confidence, you're going to need to understand and know how to beat the 5 traps of self-doubt. Didn't know there were 5 traps of self-doubt? Don't worry about it. I'm going to explain each and every one of them so you never fall into them again. So what we're going to do is take you to an event in Miami where you're not only going to see me explain the 5 traps of self-doubt, you're going to see me coaching people live as they are struggling with these traps of self-doubt, and you're going to see the breakthroughs and the firsthand solutions that are going to work for you as well. Let's go to Miami. Let's talk about the 5 traps of self-doubt, because these are physical things that we do that we don't even realize that we're doing. Hesitating, hiding, being hypercritical, feeling helpless, or feeling anxiety. These are the 5 ways that self-doubt manifests itself as habits. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about each one of the traps. If you see yourself in this trap, as I'm talking about it, I'm going to call for a volunteer, and we're going to do some coaching. So hesitating. So hesitating looks like this. It's triggered by uncertainty. So we tend to hesitate whenever we feel unsure about something. If you're waiting around to do something, you're hesitating. This is the way that self-doubt is ruining your business and your life. If you're overthinking things, this is the way that self-doubt is ruining your business and your life. So where are you hesitating? Yes, right here. Come on, let's go. You know, do you want to come over here? Do you want to? Let's bring you up on stage. Where are you hesitating in your business?
It's a constant fight between this feeling of aging. Sounds really strange, but this feeling of aging. And wanting to do so much more. I guess
Yes. Well, yeah, awesome. Okay.
I think part of it is sometimes a reaction of people around me who say, "Why don't you just retire? You know, you should be retired." I mean, I get Medicare, guys, so yeah, I should be retiring. But then there's this other side that I have so much more I want to do. And so that's the conflict I run into, is
Gotcha.
You're aging, Pat, but you have the energy and desire to go so much further, and why am I stopping myself? I think that's really what's going on.
And what are the ways in which you're stopping yourself? So if we all agree that self-doubt is the decision not to try, and hesitating in lots of ways is the way that that manifests itself as a habit, can you name the things that you're hesitating about doing right now?
I want to do what you do.
Oh, great! Okay, so say more about that.
Well, it's always been a dream of mine to be able to get up and speak in front of thousands of people.
Okay. She's doing a great job right now, isn't she?
My life has been a series of many amazing experiences, both very good and very bad, that I feel I have this need to share with people. And I received a lot of training through John Maxwell. I don't know if anybody knows him. But,
so what are you hesitating on doing? You know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that you're hesitating? You're overthinking it. You're waiting. Like let's name a couple things that you need to do if you really wanted to become a trainer or do more speaking or take your expertise in an even bigger and different level.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah, and what are the things you need to do?
I need to do. That's where I'm hesitating.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. You're overthinking it.
I know.
What are some of the things you need to do?
Join a speakers association.
1, 2.
Go to just reach out and go to someone like you.
Yep, okay.
And say, I want to do what you do, what do I do?
Great, okay.
Follow.
What else? Another one.
Follow someone who's doing what
That's
I want
number
to do.
3. Yep.
Studying speaking styles, which I have done. And also come up with the proper content that gives value out to people. So,
if you were to fight the habit every time you caught yourself hesitating on doing one of those 5 things, how quickly do you think you could have a speech, be a member of NSA, and actually start promoting yourself as somebody that speaks?
maybe 30 days.
Exactly. So the reason why it's so important for you to see this is, again, in the very beginning, I said each and every one of you are very smart. And there's a gap between knowing what to do and doing it, and it's about 5 seconds long. And every time you catch yourself overthinking, that's the habit of hesitating, right there. And for any one of you that want to engineer a quantum leap in your business or what you're doing, she basically just laid out the formula. Find somebody who's simply a couple steps ahead of you, whether it's in real estate, or it's in speaking, or it's in something else entirely. There's somebody out there that's done it. Pick somebody that's ahead of you and stalk them. Don't get like the creepy kind, but just stalk them. And then the same coaching we gave to Jonathan, which is find a couple habits that that person has that they're doing that you're not, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push yourself to adopt them now, and you will be shocked at how quickly you not only break the habit of hesitating, but you will build momentum toward the thing that you really want to do. Change is simple. The problem is us. We make it difficult because we spend too much time thinking about what to do and not enough time actually doing it. The other piece of advice that I would give you, and this is universal for everyone, is I think it's really important for you to audit who you're following on social media, because you can use social media as a tool for good or a tool for evil. And if you follow people that raise jealousy or make you feel inferior, or even lots of friends, you know, you can kind of quiet them on Facebook. The friends that, hey, you know, what are you doing? You should be retired. Not that we don't love those friends, but it's not helping you. So you should surround yourself and curate your social media so that you're getting very positive messages about who you want to become. Use it as a way to build an online group that cheers for you. Okay? Awesome. Well done. Okay, 30 days. Hiding. Hiding. It's triggered by fear. So it could be the fear of rejection. It could be the fear of disappointing people. It could be the fear that you're not worthy. There's an avoidance to this one. So hesitating is something that feels busy because you're thinking. Hiding is pure avoidance, that you know what to do. You're silent. If you catch yourself like in situations where you know what you should be doing and saying, but you silence yourself. This, again, is the habit of self-doubt, a decision not to try, that manifests itself as you avoiding things, being silent, being a chicken. If you're a scaredy cat about things, procrastinating is another big one. How many procrastinators we got in here? Great. The rest of you are just procrastinating and raising your hand. So who, and not talking to new prospects, that would be a very, very obvious way that you're hiding in this business. Not making phone calls, you're hiding. So who in here is hiding? Here she goes. Oh my God, she just stood right up. Holy cow. You gotta be fast with this girl. Come on. We're gonna cover this later, but when you say I'm excited when your body's agitated, you can trick your body state. What I want to do is I don't want cortisol to come to your brain because then you're not going to remember our conversation, okay? When you say I'm excited, when your body is anxious, it's a way to trick your body from hijacking your mind. I'm going to explain all this when we get to anxiety, but did you feel a little bit of a decrease when you said I'm excited? You're still shaking, it's fine.
I shake in front of people.
I used to too. It took me about 200 speeches before I stopped shaking.
All right, well then I have 199 to go.
There you go. Okay. So how are you hiding in your business?
I am making the people business my excuse.
What does that mean?
I'm spending more time listening to them, letting them talk, letting them feel comfortable when I should just stand up and let people know what I do and how well I do it.
Oh, so you're connected to people.
I'm a connector, as my broker says.
But you stay silent and hide.
I do. I'm in Women's Council of Realtors. I'm president-elect of our network, and I can talk to anybody all day long. But when it comes to telling people about my business that don't already know my business, I start to hide.
So let's go to the moment. Can anyone else relate to this? Raise your hand so she can see. Okay, great. So let's talk about that alarm moment. So tell me about a moment when something happens, you know inside of you this is a business opportunity, but you say nothing. You immediately go, whoop. Tell me about the last time that happened.
Business-wise, or just even networking. Even networking.
Okay, great.
There's a lot of amazing people that are in this room. I work with an amazing, challenging team. And even though I know that there's a lot of other people that are out here that are just as new, old, or in between to the business, it's that self-doubt that I'm just as good as somebody else, even though I know the business that I've done. I give myself an excuse to hide because I'm not yet to where somebody else is.
Gotcha.
And
so
just
you're
like
constantly measuring yourself up to people and deciding whether or not you're worthy.
I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy.
Is that the thing for you? You're not good enough?
Yeah, I just basically, I guess I just need to learn to slap the gap right off the map, you know, just get it.
Slap the gap off the map. Oh my God, I'm stealing that. That's amazing. Well, here's the thing. Every time you are silent, you're proving to yourself that you're not worthy. This is why we're the problem and why we're the solution. That your own actions validate your worst nightmares about yourself. And what that also means, and this is the good news, is that your own actions validate the truth and the power about you. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to tell us about your business. Let's stop hiding right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi everybody, I'm a real estate agent in Tucson, Arizona. Just into United Real Estate, and
Why should I work with you?
Why should you work with me? Because I love the detail. I love the fun of finding the place that somebody takes, purchases, and then makes it their home. It's what makes it special.
Awesome. See, how did she do? Very untransformed way to psych myself up when I'm pitching. I developed it a long time ago. It works for me. I'm going to share it with you, even though it's going to make me sound like a disgusting human being. You should feel free to adopt or ignore this, but it really helped me close that gap of feeling like I was an imposter, that somebody was going to find out I don't know what I was doing. I would take rejection personally. And when I developed this inner sense that people would be morons not to work with me. And I know that that's not a nice word, and a more transformed way to probably say it would be, it's just not meant to be. There's room for everybody. And that might be more of your brand, but my brand has an edge to it. And so for me, when I would kind of say to myself, well, people, like, they would be just, it'd be dumb. It's a really dumb decision not to do something with me. I don't say that to somebody else.
But it's the thought bubble.
But it's the thought bubble versus, ooh, how do I talk about this? And what if they find out? Like if I mean, are people like dumb if they don't work with you?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You don't believe that. See, this is the problem. You don't believe that. And so the thing for me that helped is that it gave me a distance between the rejection or the no and what I made it mean about me. I could say, this isn't for that person and they're making a mistake. Because I know that what I do is incredible. And so if you get to the point, are you incredible at real estate?
Actually, yes, I am.
Okay, I'm going to ask that again, because I did not like the pause. Did you see the pause?
That was a quick 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, see? Good. Okay, so you're using it, but I'm so glad you did it that way, because that right there was the habit of self-doubt, kicking in, stopping to think about a question that we know the answer to, right? I want you in your bones to feel and to know that if you're listing a house in the state of Arizona, I am the woman you need to work with.
Mel, when you come to Tucson, Arizona, or anywhere in southern Arizona, you're going to remember Elizabeth Cherry, because I am the one that you need to be working with, and you would be a moron if you didn't.
So, hypercritical. Hypercritical, this is typically triggered by past failures. So if you're somebody who's trying to climb out of a hole, if you're somebody that is self-conscious about your education, if you feel like you're not good enough, you argue against yourself all the time, you know, you're super critical of what you're doing, you focus on all the reasons why you can't. You're very, very busy, has an edge to it. You fixate on what could go wrong, right? Everybody's giggling, like this is me. You know, this stress kind of has this like, to it. So who in here is hypercritical and it's hurting your business? You argue against yourself. Right here up front, let's go, come on.
I feel like I have to reach a level of perfection.
Okay.
Because people are critical and I don't want to be judged.
Boom. And you just nailed what perfectionism actually is. Perfectionism is typically a defense mechanism to shield yourself from criticism. If I do it perfect, nobody's going to complain. If I get it right, nobody's going to roll their eyes. If I just make it perfect, you know, then nobody's going to have any, like, sort of anything. So it's actually the fear of failure or the fear of judgment that drives this for you.
Yes.
So where is perfectionism, where does it have a stranglehold on your business and your life?
Because I know no one's perfect. So I can't reach it.
Yep.
But I'm still scared to put myself out there to be judged.
Okay, so tell me, what exactly are you not doing?
I'm not making cold calls.
Okay.
I'm struggling with networking, but Scotty there pushes me.
Okay.
And so there are a lot of things that I could be doing for my business, but I don't.
Let's name them.
Um,
It's the same thing that everybody out there needs to be doing too, by the way.
yeah, cold calling, going out and meeting more people.
Yep. What do you do when you see a house go on the market in your neighborhood?
I look at it.
Okay.
I mean, I should be going in, trying to get more information about it and trying to show people it, but you know, it's like when I have someone register on my site, I'll call them. But in the back of my mind, it's like, they're not going to answer. It's either going to be a wrong number or, you know, I'm going to lose a voicemail.
That is the nature of hypercritical. It's when you're in your own head arguing against your dreams. It's when you're in your own mind creating all of the excuses, and boy, are you right about it. And so the thing that you're dealing with is really like a mental thinking pattern. And just knowing that nobody gets it perfect is never enough to solve perfectionism, because it's triggered from a much deeper place. And this pattern, believe it or not, of arguing against yourself, it's what keeps you safe. Because as long as you're up here, they're never going to call, this is you don't have to be judged. You don't have to put yourself out there. So the thing about this is, do you want this enough?
I do, because I can't fail. I can't allow myself to.
But you are convincing yourself to fail. Like, this is the paradox of perfectionism. I can't allow myself to fail, so I'm going to sit here and argue with myself and do nothing. And so what you're present to is failure all the time. It's okay. Get real with it. Say more about that. Why are you getting upset?
Because it's hard to break the cycle.
It's actually easy. You're making it hard. Who's the problem?
Me.
Who's the solution?
Me.
See, I guarantee you that this goes back to something that happened when you were little. What was
I've
it?
always been like this.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's, my mom tells me all the time, you make things stressful for yourself.
I think when you were little, my guess is that you made a decision that you had to be perfect in order to avoid something. Like maybe you didn't get in trouble when you got good grades, or maybe it's the way that you got love, right? Which one was it?
I didn't get in trouble when I got good grades. My mother loves me.
Of course. It's not, our parents aren't the problem. We do the things that screw us up. They're doing the best that they can, and some of them are very flawed human beings that do really awful things. But at the end of the day, we're the ones that trap ourselves with decisions and strategies that we developed as 8 or 9-year-old kids. So as an 8 or 9-year-old, you simply decided, if I just get this perfect, they'll love me more. If I just get this perfect, I won't get in trouble. If I just am perfect, the kids won't laugh at me at school. And the thing that happens to all of us is we get trapped with these belief systems that we developed when we were little. And so now here you are, how old are you?
50.
50? I'm going to be 50 this year too. You're 50 years old and you're still thinking like that 8-year-old little girl. And it's time to update your thinking pattern. And so for you, every time you stop and think about it, you're falling into the trap. And the only thing that's going to break it for you is action. Is making the call and seeing that you're flawed and that the phone call was horribly and that you're still breathing. And I'm dead serious about this. The scariest thing in the world is picking up the phone and calling somebody. Or putting up social media posts that put you out there a little bit more. Or walking up to somebody in your neighborhood who's listed their own house, even though you're just walking the dog. Oh, but the outfit's not perfect, but I got my dog, but this, but that, but the other thing. No, this is your neighborhood. Your alarm is going off. Putting flyers in everybody else's mailboxes when that happens. All those little things. This is the answer. It's about the 5-second decisions. Helplessness. Who's a victim? Who's a victim? Here she comes. So tell us, how is it that you are a, how do you act helpless? Where's the victim thing come out for you?
History is retired military,
Okay.
mental sexual trauma.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you have PTSD?
Yes,
And have you been treated for it?
I'm being treated now.
You should do, what's it called, Mandy? EMDR. EMDR. Talk to your therapist about EMDR. Mandy had post-traumatic stress disorder from a similar situation, and it's been 10 weeks of it life change. It's like a light therapy thing, because PTSD is all about response to triggers. And the fact that the triggers are so fused with your reaction that that gap isn't 5 seconds, it's like instantaneous. And so EMDR is very, very helpful. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so the helpless part comes in because I feel I'm surrounded by a lot of people, and I have this insatiable need to please and make sure everybody is okay except for me.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so in that, a lot of things that I plan don't get done.
Gotcha.
So at the end of the day, I'm like,
Gotcha.
that's important.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things, whether it's self-care or it's your own business, that you're not doing because you've put everybody else first and you then feel helpless because there's no time or there's no,
The
okay,
time runs out,
okay.
5 o'clock comes.
Yeah, what are the things that you're not getting to?
Just to back up just a second, I
Yeah.
have 2 businesses.
Okay.
I run two businesses.
Okay.
So one is the real estate and the other one is a pet transport service for rescue animals.
Oh, cool.
So, adopt, don't shop, okay? So, the overwhelming part that's starting to happen, and it's kind of like a waterfall now, because I did put myself out there as both the realtor and that.
Okay.
And so now the incoming flow of activity is making me feel like I
From both?
From both.
So now you're overwhelmed.
Little
Do you
bit.
where do you make
but-
more money?
Last year was the pet transport.
Okay.
Because I had to step up and be that partner for the husband.
Okay.
And so this year.
Is this a business that you run with him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so this year we're switching gears, and he says, "Okay, go pursue your thing."
Awesome. So the thing that's going to be hard for you is to not constantly help on the other thing.
But see, then this is my problem, because I have 2 adult people that live in the house with me. We're all dedicated to the pet transport thing.
Yeah.
And they're computer illiterate.
Well, that's their problem.
I know. I recently figured that out.
Here's what I want you to understand. They will never take control of that until you force them to. And they will never learn to do the things that they need to do until you stop doing them for them. And the role of helping them is now hurting you.
Right.
And so what I would do, and this is going to be difficult, but I would sit down with them and I would say, one of the things that I got out of my weekend in Miami was the fact that we need to do some planning. Did you like this? We need to do some planning around how I'm extracting myself and the 2 or 3 things that you guys need to do in the next month so that I can. And part of your identity has always been to be needed.
Yeah.
And being the good one and being the one that helps out. And the best way that you can help them is to make them become computer illiterate and to force them to run the business without you day to day. Yes. Yes.
That was the reason for being so desperate to get here this weekend, to get away from them. I sent them on a journey. I sent one of them on a journey alone in a truck with 4 dogs, and of
They
course,
can handle it.
she's doing well.
That's how they figure it out. They learn how to try. They make mistakes. Like, what you need to understand is you need to come out of this and be very clear with everybody in the other business. I am stepping out of this. For the next couple weeks, ask me anything. After that, my reply is Google it.
I don't know if that's going to work, but I'll try.
Well, it has to work. Because otherwise, you're going to always be straddling that business that's not as important to you personally.
Correct.
and what you need to do to build real estate. The other thing that you could do is this. Here's another way. Like, here's the other cool thing about how when you get stuck in the problems, all you see is the problem. When you get committed to solving it, you're going to see solutions everywhere. Another way you could do this is you could basically say, every morning we're going to have a meeting for half an hour. And I'm going to coach you guys through your day, and then bye, you're on your own. And you do that for a couple months, where you're still there, but only for half an hour. Like, what you need to cut off is the barrage of texts that are happening all day long, because you're their personal encyclopedia.
Yeah.
And why is it important for you to do this?
Because my passion is real estate. I retired from the military, and this was the next job that I took on, and that was 20 years ago.
Great. So this is your time.
Yes.
Why is it important for the other business, for your husband, and who's the other person?
That's Tamara.
Tamara.
Who's a very good family friend of his. No.
So why is it important for your husband and Tamara to run that business?
Because they own the trucks. I don't own the trucks.
Correct.
Yes. I don't own the trucks.
Do you see her face when she talks about this? She's even annoyed about the situation.
I love the dogs, though. I got caught up in the passion of the dogs, and so that, and I'm going to be for real right now too. I'm going to confess something that I really don't want to confess, because my team is here and they're watching me, and
Excellent.
But I'm gonna confess this because I need their help too. But I just got my 1099. I wasn't impressed at all. That word right there was what I felt.
Helpless. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
It was
sure.
horrible.
Who else had a horrendous 1099 this year? Raise your hand. Let's go. Yeah? Are you annoyed?
Mm-hmm.
What's annoying about you? Who else had a horrendous 1099 this year, meaning the amount of money just, ugh. And then you immediately, and look, it could have been a lot of money, but you're like, I didn't hit the goal. And I know, I saw that 1% mark up there, I can do that. Like, it's both this feeling that you feel annoyed with yourself because you know your potential. I know every one of you can earn more than that 1% number that was up for every single state. And then some. But it's about being willing to push yourself. And the faster that you get them to understand that that's your business, and I will help you for the next month, I'll give you a half an hour every morning if you need it. After that, Google it, or figure it out. Then you can get serious about what you want, because you deserve it. Now, what support do you need from your team? If we can get you extracted, which we are in that pet business, what support do you need from your team to do the things you need to do?
You know, to be honest with you, I don't need their support. I think that they need my support.
What does that mean? What? No, they just said, no, we don't.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's saying, what do you need?
I want to hear that.
What do they need? What do you need? Your team needs to know what support you need. Talk to them. Guys, ladies, talk to them.
Well, number one, I need to show up and be with them.
Okay.
But I need a reason to show up to be with them. So if we have some activity that's planned, I need to be. Unfortunately, you guys, the Facebook is kicking my butt. We have a group on Facebook.
So you need physical connection.
I need that physical connection. That text message is really it, not the phone call. The text message, because I sleep with my phone.
We're going to fix that. Okay, go ahead.
You know, but yeah, if I had that, I would be there.
So what are you going to create with them so that you get what you need?
No, I think I already did.
You did? Do you guys know what she needs? Because I didn't
I
get
need
that.
a text message. I need a text message. I need a phone call that says we're going to be here at this time.
So you need a weekly meeting.
I don't need a weekly meeting. We do things all the time. I'm just not always aware, because in the incoming text message, I got that notification thing on the phone, and the notifications are going like this. That's my phone. you know. You guys think that. That was
You're
last year. No, that was last year. This year is going to be different.
Okay,
So that's what I'm saying. So there's my, yeah, there's.
okay,
there's
so
my goal
just
right there.
text her every morning. You're not allowed to do anything in the pet business today. And I want you to take your focus off of helping them, and I want you to put your focus on the things you need to do. So I want you to figure out the 3 things you need to do every morning or every day that put your business first before you go to helping them.
Okay.
What are those 3 things? Let's say them before you leave the stage.
Well, stop hitting the snooze button because
Okay.
I dread once I put my toe on the floor, those 2 people that I live with come in.
Okay.
I need.
We're gonna fix that, so you gotta get up.
So,
What,
yeah,
number 2?
Yeah, because if I feign sleep, they don't talk to me. That's what I'm saying. If I fake it that I'm sleeping, they don't talk to me.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
You're gonna find your power.
The second thing is get medicine out of the way before because I have hypertension.
Gotcha, okay, so take your
Yeah,
meds.
so, yeah.
Okay, and
And then-
third?
Get dressed and get the hell out the door.
Boom! I love that. I love that. Perfect. You're not a victim and you're not helpless. Do you understand that?
I understand it, but it's believing it.
When I do the you don't need to believe it. This is a super important distinction. You do not need to believe it. You just have to do it. You don't have to feel like getting out of bed. You have to get out of bed. You don't have to feel like cold calling. You have to cold call. Stop waiting to feel like it. Stop waiting to believe in yourself. You may never believe in yourself, and you can still build $1 million business. I'm dead serious about this. Too many of you are sitting around waiting to feel ready. You can still move forward when you're not ready. Too many of you are waiting to feel like you deserve to make 6 figures and more. You can make 6 figures and still not feel like you deserve it. It's a lot easier when you feel like you deserve it, but you can still do it. It's about the action. Your mind, your history, your past, you will always have 1 million excuses not to do it, not to feel like it, not to believe in yourself. They're all bullshit. The only thing that matters in your life and your business is the actions that you're taking. And the more consistently that you take action, the faster you will start to believe in yourself, because you will see proof that you are not the kind of person that sits around and feels unworthy, that you're not a victim that sits by and gets sucked into other people's stuff, that you're not that kind of person. So it won't make sense to believe it anymore, but it starts with action. I believe in all of you, and I believe in your ability to get it done. But it's going to be up to you. Who is the problem? Yeah. Who's the solution? That's right. And don't wait to feel like it. That is the biggest mistake you could possibly make. Remember that you're smart. Remember that you know what to do. And just get it done. Awesome. You're awesome. What ends up happening is that when you doubt yourself, you start to worry about things all the time. And if you worry too much, if that becomes a habit, and it's a habit that we all have, what happens is you start to feel anxious in your body. Worrying is the negativity in your mind, the patterns that you think that don't serve you. Anxiety is nothing more than when your body state gets agitated because of the garbage that you're thinking. And panic is the big sister of all of it. Panic is when your body state gets so anxious that now your mind gets super worried that you're in real danger. And so if you've ever had a panic attack, typically what happens is you think you're having a heart attack, or you immediately are like, I gotta get out of here, I gotta get out of here. That's just your mind now taking full control of you to try to remove you from the situation that you're in. But it all starts with worrying. So for those of you that have negative beliefs about yourself that you've had since you were a kid, for those of you that struggle with anxiety like I used to, I want you to know that this is a habit that I want you to go to war against. And the way that you're going to fix this is a couple things. First of all, I want you to understand that nerves, feeling nervous, it's normal, okay? What was your first name again?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. So when Elizabeth was up here, what she was feeling was normal. She was shaking. I'm sure her stomach was actually like flipping out. Her heart was racing. Her palms might have been clammy. That body state, feeling nervous, it's the exact same thing that your body does when you're excited, by the way. So, excited or nervous, right? Is she nervous? She is if she's telling herself she is. Or is she excited? She is if she's telling herself she is. What you saw me do with Elizabeth is actually based in science. If you're in a situation where your body state starts to get agitated, and your thoughts go, uh-oh, 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 if you say, I'm excited to do this, I'm excited to give this speech, I'm excited to walk up to that house and knock on the door, I'm excited to make this phone call. What happens is you switch from a mental state where you're telling yourself something's about to go wrong to a mental state where you're saying things are about to be really good. And when you do that simple thing, I'm excited to go knock on this door, I'm excited to walk up and talk to that person, you prevent cortisol from flowing up to your brain and hijacking you into a panic attack. It never works. Have you ever been upset and somebody's like, calm down? You're like, calm down, now I'm getting really mad. You can't calm down when you're agitated because it's a state of high energy. What we're doing when we teach you to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm super excited to go up there, is we're taking your state of high energy and we're just redirecting it in a positive direction. I didn't make this up. This comes from a research study at the Harvard Medical School that was released 7 months ago. They taught students the technique before they went in to take a test, before they did a speaking competition, before a track meet, of saying, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited. Every single one of the students that were taught this simple technique performed better on the standardized tests, in the speaking competition, and at the track meets. And the reason why is because when you take a normal state of feeling agitated and you redirect it to a positive state of mind, you maintain functioning of your prefrontal cortex because no cortisol floods. That's the part of the brain that helps you perform. It's going to help you actually look and present as a professional, excited person rather than as some like nervous weirdo when you're knocking on the door to somebody or you're picking up the phone call. Super important. It's actually a strategy that I use all the time. Like I have a speech coming up. I think there's 25,000 people in the audience in Vegas. You better believe my heart's going to be pounding behind stage. I use this exact same thing. Here we are. I don't know. I think this was at the American Airlines Center.
All right, I'm about to go on stage. There's 7,000 people out there, and it's so exciting because what they don't know is they're about to learn the 5-second rule, and their lives will never be the same again. Now, I gotta tell you, my heart is racing, my armpits are sweating. I have the exact same physiological feeling as when I'm afraid, but I'm not afraid. I'm excited. Excitement and fear is the exact same thing in your body. It's just what your brain calls it. Here's a trick that's proven by science that I use every time I speak. When I start to sweat, when I start to have butterflies, when I start to have my heart race, I say, I'm excited. I'm excited to get out there. I'm excited to talk to these people. I'm excited to share the 5-second rule. And what that does is it sends a message to my brain that tells my brain why my body's all agitated and excited. And that way, I don't feel afraid. Remember, excitement and fear, exact same thing in your body. The only difference is what your brain calls it. Go get it.
Holy cow, that just took me back to Miami too. I mean, there's nothing more powerful when people open up about what they're really struggling with. It is my sincere hope that you got something profound from watching that video and watching other people be coached, and that you also saw yourself in the 5 traps of self-doubt. And now that you know what the traps are, you know that you can give yourself a push to beat them every time. Now, I'd love to hear what you're thinking. If you've got any further questions, feel free to reach out to us on social media, ask questions of us on social media. I also want to let you know how you're going to get your next video, video number 2, the second training, which is all about passion. We're going to be talking about the 3 myths and the 3 truths of passion. And if you want to live a more passionate life, you better tune in for this training. You're going to be receiving an email from our team that'll give you all the instructions on how you can access it. And again, if you have any questions, you want to reach out between now and then, by all means, hit us up on social media.